Well, after Thursday night's victory, attentions have swiftly got to turn to Leeds at home tomorrow, of course, at the London Stadium. Obviously, through to the final of the conference league, mathematically safe today, with a couple of teams doing us some favours. But we come up against a Leeds side who are very much still fighting for their lives at the foot of the Premier League. Well, that's West Ham official. Hope you are all well. It's time for the match preview for West Ham versus Leeds. I can barely believe we're playing again. Somehow those players picking themselves up again after Thursday night and going out there tomorrow. But I'm joined by an opposition fan to give an insight on Leeds. Ed, how are you, mate?
Yeah, not too well. All things all things considered. I'm doing good.
Yeah, of course, you said before we went on air one eye on the Forest Arsenal game, as Forest seem to be putting themselves quite clear of it now if they win tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think Forest are out of it already. Yeah. I think the win over Brighton pushed them out of it.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it's between us and Everton. And I mean, Everton getting a 99th minute equaliser. It's not the end of the world, though, because it's in our hands. We win both our remaining games, we stay up.
Yeah.
So, our fate's in our
hands. Who have you got on the final day?
Spurs at home. And we surely beat Spurs. They are dreadful. Dreadful.
They are. Yeah, so of course, well, we are obviously still on complete cloud nine. And there's been sort of like the debate going into this game now where, of course, the final isn't until the 7th of June for us, whether we are now mathematically safe today, whether Moyes is just going to completely rest players until then and not risk any injuries. Get your thoughts in the comment section about that, because there's a few differing opinions on it. Charles goes straight away, slippery path, resting key players. Who doesn't think that the other relegation threatened teams will be monitoring this closely, just as we will or would. Best team for me all day. Would like to rest 4 or 5 players. Terry, hope you're well, mate. Agree, Rich. Conference League final is the big one now. Wouldn't mind seeing Leeds win to put Everton in the drop zone, in all honesty. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
We don't like Everton. We don't like Everton around here. It's going to be a difficult one. Obviously, playing us, I do think you seriously can get one over us tomorrow, especially with Big Stan coming back to West Ham. He's only come back once since he left us, and yeah, I don't know. How are you feeling about it?
I mean, I had eyes on congratulations, by the way, on making the final of the conference league. It's mental to think that you escaped a relegation battle just a few weeks ago, and now you're in a European Cup final.
We've completely beat the system now. We've completely beat the system, because if we win the Conference League, we go up into the Europa League. We must be the only side ever to finish 15th and get into the Europa League. We've completely worked it out.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. So congratulations for that. I was watching it. Awful game to watch.
Oh, it was not good, was it?
Yeah, but I had my fingers crossed that it would go to extra time, but you were pushed until the very end. Obviously, good goal by Fornells. But you got to wonder what mindset West Ham players are in, because they were pushed to the full 90 away in Holland, and obviously ugly scenes after the game.
Yeah.
Hopefully, there's a banning coming from the Alkmaar fans. But you do wonder what kind of mindset the West Ham players are in, and whether they're going to rest players. Obviously, you say the final's not until the 7th of June, so there's not really any need for them to rest players. And, it's your final home game of the season against Leeds. You'll want to do one over on us. Obviously, Big Sam coming back to West Ham. You guys don't really like him, so you'll want to do one over on us. So, I mean, I can see you resting a few players, but I don't think you'll put a really, really weakened side out, which is obviously what we're all hoping for, because West Ham away is very, very tough. We won there last season, though, Jack Harrison. Masterclass by him. And we had a very good goal ruled out wrongly.
Oh, yeah, that was interesting, that.
Yeah, I mean, I say it wrongly, it was offside, but very harsh to call that. But I'm not too confident going into it. I've got my fingers crossed that you do rest players and that your players have one eye on the final and they're a little bit tired from Thursday night. But, as I say, it's your last home game of the season. You want to win that.
Yeah, there's so many different factors going into it, and I always sort of remember we're in this situation now where we played Watford away a couple of years ago, and it was the game before they were playing in the FA Cup final. Of course, that was a huge occasion for them, and I feel like it's sort of going to be sort of similar vibes for us here, because it's our biggest game in a hell of a long time coming up, but it's not till the 7th of June. But we don't want a player like Declan Rice to get a month injury and then be a sort of question mark unnecessarily in a game. Really, with these 2 games we've got left now, we could have a massive say in the relegation battle. We've got Leeds, obviously you lot tomorrow, and then Leicester on the last day. So we've got a pivotal part to say in it, but there's different factors. Moyes mentioned in his pre-match press conference yesterday that he may make similar decisions to what he did against Brentford last week, i.e. change the whole team to the first team to rest players. So I don't know what Moyes is going to do. I do think there will be changes. I think, obviously, a grueling, not very nice, tough 90 minutes in Holland. They had a bit of an hour party, and then we were back in London by 2 a.m. So it's been a really sort of straining few days for them. It's been brilliant, but it's been harsh for them as well. So I'd expect whoever does play, there will be tired legs there for sure. And I do think there's an opportunity for you to, if you come out well, we don't particularly start games well. If you come at us early, then you can get us, I think.
Yeah, there's certainly an opportunity for us, I think. But we can't rule you guys out. I think Danny Ings will probably start for you. I think Antonio will be vested. But yeah, there's certainly a chance, and we've seen improvements over the past 2 games. We lost only 2-1 against Man City, and Real Madrid got battered 4-0 by them. So we're better than Real Madrid, at least. And then obviously against Newcastle, we're disappointed for drawing against third in the league, which I think says it all. We started that game well, should have been 2-0 up. Bamford missed a penalty. If we get a penalty in this game, please don't let Bamford take it. If you're a betting man, then if anyone watching is a betting man, then put a bet on West Ham winning the penalty, because we've given away 3 penalties in our past 2 games. So yeah, our players just need to do the basics right, not do silly mistakes. We need to not give away silly penalties, stay on our feet in the box. We've defended quite well in the past couple of games, I thought. And, we have seen improvements. Against Newcastle, going 1-0 up in 6 minutes, very good start from us. I think if we get a goal in the first 10, 15 minutes, I've got my hopes up that we could win the game. We need to win. It's a must win for us. Obviously, a draw would take it to the final day, but I do not want to be at Ellen Road on the final day against Spurs, needing to beat Spurs and also hoping that Everton lose at home to Bournemouth. I don't want to be in that position. It's in our hands. We need to win this. And then if we win this, a little bit of pressure off next week. And as I say, we shoulder beat Spurs because they are dreadful.
What have you made of the impact Sam Zadwin is coming? Because you've had a bit of a crazy season with, a few managers coming in and out. Of course, what have you made of the impact he's had when he's come in?
He's made us more, better defensively, which is expected. He was a defender when he was a player, and it's expected from Big Sam. He sets his teams up, they're quite organised, and I think he's just settled the players down a bit, which is what was needed, because we were getting battered 4-1, 6-1, 5-1 every week. It felt like under Javi Gracia. It's the club's been a mess ever since we sacked Marcelo Bielsa. We went from Bielsa, then went with a guy who hates his players having a football and plays so narrow. And then we went to another guy who likes playing wide, but also likes sitting back. And now we've gone to another guy who also likes playing narrow, but sitting back. It's it's been a horrible past year or so, being a Leeds United fan. But Jesse Marsch, I'm glad he's gone. Javi Gracia, it did all right at the start, but then obviously getting battered and the goal difference has just gone way. Just goal difference is gone. So you guys are safe. I know if mathematically you could still go down. If we win both our games and you lose them both, and there's an 11-goal swing there, you could still go down. But it's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen. So I mean, Big Sam, I like him. I don't mind him. It is. I'm in that kind of just whatever stage now, being a Leeds fan. So whatever happens. Hopefully defensively we're much better and we don't do any silly mistakes.
Let's see who else is watching. Still see what you guys are saying. Lawrence, hope you are well. Usual suspect. usual suspect hope you are, but evening should be the best atmosphere ever at the stadium tomorrow. There should be a feel good factor around the place tomorrow. And that's another thing you've got to take into consideration. You know, a lot of people got back from Amsterdam Friday, yesterday. You know, today many people got back as well. You know, they'll be over there tomorrow. So it will be good in there. Hopefully we can get the place bouncing, and you know, maybe of course this our last home game, so there'll be the full, you know, shebang afterwards as well. And the likelihood is it's going to be Declan Rice's last game for West Ham at the London Stadium. So there's many things to take into consideration here. You know, many different stipulations of it. Last home game, Declan Rice's last game at home. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's really, really difficult to call. You know, I'd be able to give a sort of like better sort of, you know, outlook of it when we get the lineup tomorrow, because I've just got no idea what Moyes is going to do. He might surprise us and go completely full strength, which I can't see him doing. And I think there'll be a few changes because the players absolutely ran their socks off, and some of them will be just going, I cannot play again. You know, I cannot play again. So there will be changes, no doubt, but it's just how many and who are the questions we'll be asking until 12:30 when we get the lineup tomorrow. Terry says, top of the world. I have random people phoning me on Friday to congratulate me. Loads of people coming, oh, well done and through to the final. I'm like, I'm not used to this. We got to the final. Get back to finishing 15th, and that's just it, you know. But yeah, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. You know, Mark, you know, just the whole night on Thursday night, you know, the smile has not gone off many West Ham fans' faces. That picture, Mark Noble, who's now in his sporting director role, whatever that even means, I don't even know what that means. You know, carrying a big crate of Heineken into the changing room. It's just been exceptional, and there should be a good vibe around the place tomorrow. You know, whatever happens, there should be an element of thankfulness and, you know, real strive to go on and win whatever side we put out tomorrow, because I do think it'll be weakened. Gary says the first team will want to play. It's the final home game of the season, and boy, do we need to celebrate. I think we'll celebrate, but let's try and, you know, put some of them celebrations away for after the final when we've won. Benrahma penalty tomorrow, then possibly. Hopefully the Spuds give Mason a 5-year contract, as he's the only man who can make Fat Frank seem like Pep. Oh, they were winning and they did the ultimate Spursy in the second half. Honestly, if you beat them on the final day to stay up, I'd love that.
Yeah, of course I would as well. I mean, we've beaten Ryan Mason's Spurs at Ellen Road before in the first season back in the Premier League with COVID. Yeah, we're beating 3-1 at Ellen Road, but obviously different circumstances then. So, but I'm confident going in. I'm more confident going into Spurs than I am this game, which is strange. Because yeah, as you said, there's a feel good factor around your club now. You know, the players are going to be up for it. They're going to be bouncing. The fans are going to be bouncing as well. I just hope we can simmer down those celebrations a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Last time up at Ellen Road, I thought it was that night match, wasn't it? 2-2. And you know, we were sort of of the mindset that things were really not going too well, and you know, it wasn't good at the football club. You know, Gianluca Scamacca was playing, and he managed to score, and we managed to get a point off of you. In the end, we haven't got the best record against you. You know, as you mentioned earlier, you beat us at home last year, but last season there was the incredible Antonio last minute goal. So it's been sort of mixed emotions against you since you've come up to the Premier League, but I think you've got a chance. If you play positive football, if you've got some pace there, then you will cause us some problems. I'll guarantee you that.
Positive football. I've got Big Sam in charge, mate.
Big Sam, yeah, sorry. Well, no, but you've got some, you know, lively players there. You know, that Gnonto, is he sort of?
Yeah, Gnonto,
yeah.
I mean, whether he starts or not is another question, because Javi Gracia never really liked starting him, and he hasn't started under Big Sam yet. So I don't think, did he start against City? I don't think so. Yeah, no, it all depends what team Big Sam puts out. I think one of our midfielders, Rocker, is injured, so he's not gonna feature. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what team we put out. Firpo is obviously suspended, the left back, which
is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a blessing in disguise or not, to be honest, because he does a lot of silly things. I thought Firpo was Newcastle's best player last week, to be honest. So yeah, you know, it's gonna be very interesting. It's a tough one to call, really. And it's always a fun game against West Ham. I remember when you guys were down in I remember when you guys were down in the Championship and we got promoted from League One and we drew 2-2 away, and then I think it was 1-1 at home against you guys. And obviously last season, we won there. We obviously played each other in the FA Cup as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, no, you mentioned the 2-2 draw earlier in the season. I thought we played quite well in that game. I think if Rodrigo starts, it could cause a few problems. But I mean, it'll probably be Rodrigo and Bamford up front for us. I think Bamford is Big Sam's man. He likes that big striker up front, and Bamford's our tallest player up front. So he's probably going to start, which is probably a good thing for you guys.
Really, yeah, it's going to be interesting because, of course, you've went from sort of like polar opposite tactical sort of stances with the managers you've had over the last few years, and it's certainly been a roller coaster. And whether you stay up or not, of course, that's still in the balance. But playing us and then playing Spurs, you never know. You never know. Look, I think Everton have got Bournemouth on the last day. Bournemouth on the beach. So. I'd expect them to beat them at home, especially if they really need to. They'll get Goodison Park rocking for sure. And then you've got Forest, who I think are still beating Arsenal down there. And
4 minutes left.
4 minutes left, 1-0. And of course, you've got Leicester, who we play on the final day, and they've got Newcastle away on Monday, which is a horrible game to have on the penultimate game of the season. But we play them on the final day, so there's still plenty. It's definitely those three sides there: Leicester, Leeds, and Everton. So
I think Leicester are down personally, and I think Forest they're safe. I think after last week they're safe now. They're on the same number of points as you, minus 30 goal difference though. So but yeah, no, we can't catch them anymore if they see out this win against Arsenal. So it's between us and Everton, and it's in our hands. We need to win both our games. We must win tomorrow, and I'm hoping we can do it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure. It wouldn't shock me, if you did beat us, but I've just got no idea what sort of lineup and what sort of state our players are going to be in. So it's a massively difficult game to call. And would you say Leeds are quite an unpredictable side to try and piece together as well? With just sort of the way you play and how you perform.
Yeah, definitely. We are we're probably the most unpredictable team in the league, to be honest. You don't know if we're gonna go one goal down and then just lose our heads completely and get beat 5-1. You don't know if we're gonna go 1-0 up, 2-0 up and just grind out a win, or whether it's gonna be a high scoring draw. You just never know with Leeds United. So it's probably the toughest game to call, this one tomorrow, because you don't know what West Ham are going to do, and then you don't know what mindset Leeds are going to be in. I'd hope we're in a decent mindset. I know Everton got that last minute equaliser, but they've dropped points. So, if Big Sam, we've got Big Sam, Robbie Keane, and Carl Robinson there as the three coaches. So if hopefully they're telling them it's in your hands. If I'm a football player and I know that my fate is in my own hands, I'd be more confident heading into games.
Yeah, and of course, you've got comments like this as well. Eric says, I'd like Leeds to stay up. We don't need the points. Maybe I should be saying this. And I mentioned it earlier. We've got such a big say we could have on this relegation battle here, because we could either lose to both Leeds and Leicester and possibly keep them up, or beat them both and send them down. It's quite a weird position to be in. Whereas up until about a month ago, we were seriously in that battle, and pundits would always say we'd be safe. But I mean, we were all sort of staring down that barrel at some stages, and we managed to get a point off Arsenal, which I thought was a turning point. And now we're in the position where we can dictate what happens here. And quite frankly, I've got no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. Florian says, congratulations, West Ham, from an AZ fan. Thank you very much, mate. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Any other Leeds players that have impressed you we should look out for tomorrow ahead?
Nonto, Jack Harrison, if he has a decent game. You never know what Jack Harrison's going to turn up. To be honest, he can have a really good game or just a really terrible game. Rodrigo as well scored against you guys earlier in the season. If he just gets one chance at goal to get a shot off, it's probably going in the back of the net. I don't know if you watched our game against Man City, but just a nothing ball, and he's just gone onto it and just smashed it into the back of the net. So he could have a good game. I think the there's no one in midfield for us really. Yeah, just those three players really. Rodrigo, Nonto, Harrison. I don't think there's any worry with Bamford. Aronson, if he plays, he's a terrible player. Aronson is just falls over every single minute of the game. So if he plays, then you're in luck. So yeah, just if Nonto starts, he's the one to watch out for us.
Yeah, I think it's just, I think it's going to be interesting because you've got three managers there in Dean Smith, Sean Dyche, and Sam Allardyce, proper relegation sort of survivors there. You've got those, and there is a possibility that both Sean Dyche and Sam Allardyce could both go down, which seems a bit weird. Sam Allardyce, I think if he does keep you up, has got to take a hell of a lot of credit. Would you like to see him stay in if you stay up?
Oh, no. Even if we go down, I don't want him to stay. No, he's been brought in for these 4 games, and if he keeps us up, he's going to walk away with £3 million. So, he's come in to do a job, and quite simply, that is to keep Leeds United up within 4 games. Very tough ask, but if he does it, I'll love him massively. But yeah, I definitely do not want him here next season because watching us at the moment is boring. It's horrible. That Newcastle game, I hated every single minute of
that. Yeah, I tell you what, if he does keep you up, then you got to say a huge well done to him, because I think in the position he was in, and especially if this was his first game away to Man City as well, where to be fair, that scoreline did probably flatter you in a way, but you took away some positivity from it, that you only lost by a goal to Man City, and then some positive results. And I do have a funny feeling that he'll probably turn up and turn us over. Somebody's mentioned it here about Sam Allardyce. Eric says, Ed, don't worry, Big Sam will know what to do. So I've just got that funny feeling he's going to know how to turn us over. Arsenal has certainly gone all Spursy, things we definitely love to see. If the rumours are true, Manuel Lanzini is going back to Argentina. I want to see him get a start tomorrow. I get the send-off he deserves. There's many players that could possibly be playing their last West Ham game at home tomorrow, so there want to be a send off to a lot of cult heroes, a lot of players that go under the radar that have been great servants to the club, including Manuel Lanzini, and many players that will be parting ways tomorrow. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting day for sure. Terry says Forest camping in their own box, but the clock is ticking down. City will be taking the trophy home to if it stays like this, and Arsenal will have out Spurs, even though they bottled 1 goal lead at half time, conceded 3 in the second half to Brentford. Tottenham get bad everywhere they go.
7 minutes of added time in that game, by the way. Yeah.
What
a horrible way to win the league, by the way.
I know.
Kick football. Yeah. We did that when we came up in the Championship. Obviously, that was behind closed doors, which made it even worse. But we beat Barnsley 1-0. Didn't feel like a win, and then obviously West Brom lost, and then West Brom lost against Huddersfield, which meant that we got automatically promoted. And then a few days later, Brentford lost, which meant that we won the league without kicking a football. So it's a horrible way to win a league.
Yeah. I sort of mentioned it earlier, as in, to be fair, Man City, if they won it like 5 out of 6 years, at one point this season, I think the majority of their fans probably said we probably ain't going to get it this year, but it's not a nice way to win a trophy. You want to do it on your own terms, of course. But to be honest, they're going to have another 2 coming their way this year anyway, I think. So, exactly. I don't think they'll complain. They'll beat United in the final, let's hope so. And I quite like them to win the Champions League, because if we win the Conference League, they win the Champions League, then Man City and West Ham were together.
And they win the treble as well, and Man United fans just shut up.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what we'd all love to see. Sharky says, what do you think about Robles being brought into starting lineup, because Meslier is at a bit of a howler? What's your thoughts on that whole situation?
Oh yeah, I think Melier leaving in the summer, in my opinion, which I'm not too bothered about, to be honest. I think he's been dreadful this season. His entire mindset just completely gone, and there was at one point he was conceding every single shot on target. So yeah, it's good that he went out of the team. And Joe Robles, I like him a lot. I think he's a leader. He's experienced. You see him screaming at defenders, organising them, putting players off from taking penalties. He pushed it right to the very brink in the Newcastle game with Callum Wilson. Don't know if you saw his second penalty, but it was playing mind games with him, got a yellow card, and then still continued to do it. He was going to get sent off. He was prepared to get sent off just to put Callum Wilson not taking a penalty. So yeah, I like Joe Robles. I really do. He's obviously
gave sort of Martinez vibes, didn't it? He really wanted to get in there.
Yeah, he's a very experienced goalkeeper, and I'm surprised that he didn't have a club last summer because obviously we've got him on a free. So yeah, no, I like him. I don't think he's a first choice goalkeeper heading into next season, but at the moment, I think he's best for what we need right now because Meslier is just a young kid. I think his mind's somewhere else, and he needed a bit of time out of the team, and I think Joe Wobblers is doing a good job at the moment.
Yeah, no, fair enough. One player that we did, one player that you got off of us, I think it was last year, was Sonny Perkins, the youngster. Has he had any involvement?
So he played in the FA Cup against Cardiff City in January and scored the equaliser there, which took it to a replay. That's been his only involvement in the first team this season. But he's just won the Premier League 2 Division 2 playoff final with the Leeds United 21s on Monday. So you know what, if he gets the game, that'd be great because I think he's a really good player. I thought he was bossing the game on Monday night in the U21s final. So yeah, no, it'll be good to see him play, against his former club. Enough. But I doubt it. I don't. That's not the position we're in at the moment. If we were safe, then you could say, give the kids a chance. But we're in a relegation battle. You can't just say to an 18-year-old or whatever,
Go on,
mate. You just can't do that in a relegation battle. It's too much pressure for the kids. So, it's all about getting experienced players in there who know how to get the job done.
For sure. Has the Counting House in Leicester pre-ordered next week's chicken wings? Well, they're going to try and get as many people off. So they've had a few in the pub next week before Leicester. Who could say pre-Prague party after a few string? It's going to be a good day next Sunday, and hopefully we might have some way, whether it's positive for you or negative for you, in the relegation battle. We are going to have a say in it some way or another. And it's weird having that power because usually when we're involved in a relegation battle, we're not dictating it. We're the ones that are fighting for it. So yeah, it's a crazy old time. Rubber Fingers 1 says Mubama, Fornals, Cornet, Downs, Emerson and Lanzini, i.e. all the fringe players, need to start tomorrow. We're safe. Why not experiment? I'd love to see Mubama play tomorrow. Another young player who came on for 20 minutes against Brentford last week. Why don't we play Danny Ings and Mubama up there together? Give Danny Ings a player to run off, give Mubama some experience as a young lad. We've got nothing to play for. When we look back in 2 or 3 months' time, this match, quite frankly, it doesn't matter, does it? It's a completely pointless game for us, as was last Sunday. So give these players a go. Why not? And give these players that have played 3,000-4,000 minutes of football this season in FA Cups, Carabao Cups, flipping Conference League, Premier League, give the players a rest because they've certainly played a hell of a lot of football.
I agree. Yeah, you guys are safe. You guys are safe. Play the kids. Just play the kids. Under 18s, go on there.
I'll tell you what though, the majority of the fan base would absolutely back that tomorrow. If they got in there and we played the kids, then we would 100% back that because I think that would be good, and it gives those players rest. I do think it'll be a mix tomorrow. There'll be a few fringe players and a few first team players. That's what I'd expect. But I tell you what, I'd love nothing more than him to play the kids tomorrow to give them some experience. But that is unlikely. Mubama starting, however, just one of them. He's had some first team experience. I'd love to see that, and I think that's probably more likely in that sense. But we'll move on to a prediction, mate. What do you think?
It's a tough one to call. My head's really saying draw. My head is saying maybe a 1-1, maybe a 2-2 draw. But I'm hoping we can get an early goal, maybe nick a second, and then just defend like crazy. 2-1 Leeds. I'm gonna go for.
Yeah. I like to give 2 predictions every now and then, and I'm going to do it dependent on the lineup. I don't think there's going to be too many goals in it. I can't see it being another sort of like 3-2 game like we've had in the past.
There's going to be barely any goals in this game.
Yeah,
Big Sam versus David Moyes, mate. It's going to be an awful game to watch.
It's going to be awful. It's going to be awful. I'm either going to go like sort of a 1-1 or a 1-0 to either side. It really wouldn't surprise me if you turned up, got an early goal and defended and 1-1-0. That wouldn't surprise me at all. 1-0 either way, I think is the best bet in my opinion. But if you win, I'll go fair play and we'll just go, oh well, we'll just have a party at Leicester next week. So it don't really matter. But yeah. it's interesting, this relegation battle. And, you know, we've gone from about 10 games ago where we still didn't have a clue about one side was going to be going down. It's been so tight down there this season. And as expected, it's going to go down to the final day for at least one of the spots down there. And, you know, possibly and probably two of them will still be in the balance heading in to the final day. But of course, plenty of football still to be played. Let's take some of your comments. Earthy to start instead of Sue check. I take that 100%. 2-1 to West Ham. 1-0 says Sharky. 2-0 Leeds says Mandy.
I like that, Mandy.
For Forest have won, so that's not great news for you, Ed. But
yeah, Forest are safe now, in my opinion.
Safe.
So it's between us and Everton. It's us and Everton, and I think Everton are going to win against Bournemouth next week at home. You would be very, very shocked if Everton do not pick up any points in that game, because Bournemouth are on the beach. Bournemouth have been terrible in recent weeks now. So win our last two games. So must win tomorrow for us. Must win next week against Spurs for us. So fingers crossed. But I'm not going to enjoy any of it.
I tell you what, though, what a sort of 5 days it's been. Honestly, if Carlsberg did 5 days, it's these 5 days. Spurs have lost. We've got to a final. City have won the league. Arsenal have bottled it. It's just been brilliant. It's just been utterly brilliant. And will we cap it off with a win tomorrow? I'm not so sure. I haven't got a clue, to be honest with you. Whatever happens tomorrow, it's going to be dull. It's going to be defensive. And I can't think of another word beginning with D. So you've just got to. Thanks for watching. Drop a like on the video and subscribe to West Ham Official if you're new. We'll be back with a build-up show and reaction, and of course views from the stadium tomorrow as well. Of course, final game of the season, so there'll be the full shebang of walking round and bye-bye and farewell and all of that jazz. So look out for that. And Ed, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Yep, no problem.
I'll say good luck because it doesn't really matter to us. So good luck, and I hope you beat Spurs on the final day.
Yeah, so do I. For me, and good luck in the final as well.
Cheers. No, let's hope so. Let's hope we can finish it, and yeah, it would cap off a strange season where we've seen some of the worst football I've ever seen as a West Ham fan, and winning the trophy. It's been a strange old season. Yeah, and thank you very much, and we'll see you soon right here on West Ham Official. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Goodbye.